Well, as far as the women's singles draw was concerned, by a quarter-final stage, we had 7 different nationalities. We actually lost 3 seeds in the first round in the bottom half of the draw. And by quarter-final stage, the 2 former champions we'd had, Ratchanok Intanon and Akane Yamaguchi, had both left, so we're guaranteed a new name on the trophy. 2 semi-finalists from Indonesia, and that's the first time that's ever happened at a Super 750 event. So as far as the race to the World Tour finals are concerned, in the women's singles, Wang Zhi Yi is already #1. She will stay at #1, having reached the final this week. Gregorio Mariska Tunjung will go up 1 place, and the Olympic champion An Se Young isn't even on the list, but she will come in next week, next Tuesday, on the new ranking. She'll come in, win or lose today's final, at #6 on the race to the World Tour finals, but it has to be said that she will get an invitation anyway as the reigning Olympic champion. Second final here at the Denmark Open for the 22-year-old Korean An Se Young. She was beaten in the final 3 years ago, beaten by Akane Yamaguchi in a final that all who saw it will never forget, because the 2 players gave so much energy. And in the end, An Se Young had to retire with cramp in the deciding game, but it was the most magnificent match. It was so sad it ended with a retirement. Wang Zhi Yi is making her 4th appearance here at the Denmark Open. 3 years ago she was in the quarter-final, but apart from that, this is quite clearly the best she's ever played at this event. Now, this will be an 11th meeting between these 2 players, and of the previous 10, An Se Young has won 8 of the encounters, including the last, which was the semi-final of the Indonesian Open in Istora Senayan in Jakarta earlier this year. So, Steen, apologies, I obviously don't have the umpire's mic up high enough. Tell me what happened there.
An Se Young won the coin toss, and just as the previous time she's won it, she elected to start on the near side of the court.
Thank you. So, An Se Young, the #1 seed, against the #2 seed. In fact, it's one of 3 finals today where we have the top 2 seeds playing off on finals day for the title. As I was telling you, she's 22 years of age, and that equates to 5'7". She is currently #2 in the world, but by virtue of reaching the final here, when the world rankings are published on Tuesday, after 2 weeks at #2, she'll go back to #1. And I think most people would agree that's where she should be. This is her 6th final in her 9th tournament of the year. It's her first tournament, incidentally, since the Olympic Games. Well, she's gone the full distance in both the second round and the third round. As you can see, 3 tie players in the first 3 matches. The 2017 winner, Ratchanok Intanon, in the second round, 3 games.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Wang Zhi Yi, China. And on my left, An Se-young, Korea. Wang Zhi Yi to serve. Love all. Play.
So the Asian champion, far side of the court in the all-red kit, Wang Zhi Yi, against the Olympic champion, An Se-young of Korea. Well, that's landed in. Well, it's been well publicised that An Se-young, immediately after winning her Olympic gold medal, made some accusations about how her injury, which you can see, her right knee heavily bandaged, how that had been managed in her build-up to the Olympic Games, and one or two other comments about how she feels that she's been treated by her national federation. But An Se-young's team is trying to become only the third different player from Korea to win the Denmark Open title, and the first for 37 years. Now, the interesting thing here, the first ever winner from Korea of the women's singles was a certain Kim Yoon-ya, who happens to be the mother of one of the coaches on the coaching bench. And that, of course, is Sung Ji-hyun.
That's right.
So it's also been well publicised that coaching breaks, there she is on the right as we looked at them, Sung Ji-hyun. Well publicised that the coaching breaks throughout this tournament have been frosty.
Yeah, yeah, there hasn't been many words exchanged. It's been mostly Sung Ji-hyun talking to An Se-young.
I think we have to admit that most of the time the Asian style of coaching is that the coaches tell the players, where in Europe there's far more dialogue, so that's not so different from normal.
No, but there's also been speculations as to how much An Se-young was actually interested in hearing at times.
Yes.
He was. She didn't look to be that interested in being coached.
Just wide.
And the way she played the second round in the quarterfinal was that she looked a little bit rusty in the first game, and she chose the near side to play the first game on, which is supposedly the more difficult side to play on in women's singles. And then from the second game and onwards, she was playing quite well, An Se-young. Now the opposition is as strong as it comes in this tournament here. So it's going to be interesting to follow the development in this match. Wang Zhi Yi winning China Open on home soil, so must be considered one of the absolute strongest players at the moment.
That's a lovely net shot. Oh, what a return from Wang Zhi Yi. That is extraordinary. How on earth did she control that? Yeah, and in winning the China Open, she became only the second women's singles player from China to win a Super 1000 title.
Alongside Chen Yufei?
Yeah, the former Olympic champion.
Yeah. I was quite surprised to see her lose in the first round to Ratchanok Intanon in Arctic Open last week, but who knows, the jet lag, travel and playing conditions.
So, a challenge here from An Se-young. Here we go. Oh, it's a great challenge. My goodness me. Yeah, and even she looks as if she's surprised by that.
4-6. Play.
Maybe An Se-young's first tournament since winning Olympic gold. But if you look at the build-up to the Olympics, and now this is her first tournament back. This is her 4th final in 4 tournaments played. Oh, that's a super net shot from An Se-young. 5-6. Oh, my goodness. Oh! Well, how on earth An Se-young got back that neck board, I don't know.
5.
And I wouldn't mind seeing that again as to whether that was struck her side of the net. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. That's a lovely angle. That slice from An Se-young was played to perfection. Here it comes. Look at that. And good follow-up too.
That's one of the situations where I feel that Wang Zhi Yi's got to play the first break-off shot, so to speak, from the clearing challenge they were playing, the 2 women. Good play.
Yeah, lovely. Making An Se-young move the full diagonal of the court, played her deep in her forehand corner. There, she's taking the shuttle late. And then the fast drop to the backhand net.
She's got really nice, delicate technical skills, Wang Zhi Yi, and that's perhaps one of the explanations, one of the reasons she lost to Ratchanok in Arctic Open, that Ratchanok too has got. That's a brilliant shot.
And exactly the same tactic.
Yeah.
Deep forehand corner of An Se-young. Here we go. And make her take it late, and then once again, angled fast shot across court.
Yeah, I think Anne is overcovering her forehand defense a little bit, because we've seen that there's openings there. And it's not all women's singles players who's got the technical skills to exploit it, but I actually think Wang Zhi Yi has. She can play those quick, steep attacks. But if the shuttles get too slow, or the playing conditions get really slow, as we saw in Arctic Open, that technical, delicate technical advantage that she has is nullified.
Short. Missed it. And
11-7.
It is a 4-point advantage for
重复他
Wang
一
Zhi
个
Yi.
点，他就慢慢在动脑筋，
You
怎么
know,
打
and again into
那我
the
两边打开，他就没有，
of the opening game.
知道吧？啊，然后你自己要果断在哪？他给你的后场半场球起来大胆打，你知道吗？打不死也要打，就告诉你我有杀球，你不能说哎我全拉，这样的话那节奏会太慢了啊，所以在速度上还是要给他一点压力，你知道吗？啊，然后能有今晚球最好，没有的话就正常相对要进一点，就顶他后场为主，好吧？啊，自信啊！
Luo Yigang, the Chinese coach, coaching Wang Zhi Yi.
Wang, back and forth. (11-7).
There he is. Former world number 3.
Play.
That's a lovely block. Missed it.
12-7.
It's gone wide.
Service over. 8.
A nod of approval from the Korean coaches. Anything you've spotted, Steen, that you think that An Se-young should be doing a little differently to get herself back on level terms and maybe even win this match?
I think actually she's done quite well. She's made a couple of errors in situations where she were having the advantage, missed a couple on the sidelines. But if I were Wang Zhi Yi, I would try to prevent An Se-young from controlling the rallies. I'm not sure she can attack much more than she has at the moment on this near side, An Se-young.
Look how short that is when she's hitting that final smash and then the follow-up.
Good shot.
Oh.
Short again.
Yeah.
There was the error again.
Yeah.
14-8.
I mean, the one thing that strikes me about An Se-young at the moment is that incredible fighting spirit and that apparent joy of hitting shuttles that we've seen from her in the past, where she's just loved to be on court.
Yeah.
She just seems to be devoid of that at the moment. Nice.
That's super play.
That's wonderful.
And that's also, I mean,
15-8.
the Olympics was exciting in women's singles because we knew An Se-young was carrying that knee injury.
Yeah.
But until she got that, was it at the Asia Championships or Asian Games? I think it was the Asian Games back in 23.
Where she actually won the gold medal.
Yeah. And until that point, she had been absolutely dominant in women's singles. She still won tournaments where you could see that she was hampered by her injury. As you can see here, that her movement is not as smooth as it was a year ago.
9-15.
Her anticipation skills and shot quality is just second to none. We didn't get pictures of the Korean coaching, but there wasn't much communication. That's a good shot again from Wang Zhi Yi. Much communication. I'm wondering how the practice have been going back home in Korea. I mean, is it the Korean coaches that have been conducting the practice, or what's been going on? That's
because
super interesting.
Didn't the government sports department investigate the allegations?
I think so.
And as far as I understood, upheld some of the complaints.
I think so too, but it's difficult to find accurate reports.
Yeah. Brilliant net shot once again from Wang Zhi Yi. She's only 3 points away from this opening game. Look at the accuracy of that. That's another one that's hit the top of the tape and trickled over.
Good little deception.
That went under the net.
Yeah. So it's going to be super interesting to see the second game, whether she can get better shot quality from her forehand, Han Se-young. She can definitely push her shots a bit more to Wang Zhi Yi's rear court when they change ends. That's not been possible here. Wang Zhi Yi mostly in control. And that means that the coin toss was really important.
Yeah. Game point opportunities for the Asian champion, Wang Zhi Yi. That's gone wide. Well, she's challenging. I don't think she'll win that challenge. I saw that as wide. Mind you, we've been rubbish this week on the challenges, haven't we? Or I have, anyway.
I haven't been right either. Started to stay silent, knowing that I have no idea whatsoever.
Here we go. Oh, he caught a line, would you believe it? Another good challenge.
I thought actually it was the backline that she was challenging, but apparently not.
No, I thought it was the sideline. Loose. 21-10 opening game in favour of the number 2 seed Wang Zhi Yi against the reigning world and Olympic champion Han Se-young of Korea.
希望就是说你自己稍微先感受一下控球，能控住正常打，好吧？不能控，自己想办法就把球往边上打，就包括挑球。你看他今天他是主动球他打下来并不多，但是呢你的推平球啊什么他打下来很多，说明他抓平球的进攻，好吧？然后第二，他肯定压你后场会比较多，做好防守的同时，怎么样保护好住自己的后场，特别是他的高球。高球过来我能拿下来，不行反拍都可以或者是往下点那些主要关键一个自己讲了，自己要耐心，有半场机会一定要果断，明白吗？就大胆打，我付出一拍不行，第二拍、第三拍一定要有这种，你不能说一拍、两拍、三拍没死，我不打了，一定要坚持4拍、5拍、6拍，我一直可以延续，好吧？在这边消耗可能会更大一点，自己精力在击球里面把节奏控制好
second, 20 seconds.
So Wang Zhi Yi, 1 game to the good, 21-10
Second game.
that opening game.
Ball. Play.
So what can the reigning world and Olympic champion, Wang Zhi Yi, do in response? Well, interestingly, Steen, this is Wang Zhi Yi's 9th final at Super 750 level, so that's not a record. So she does have the record of most Super 750 titles, which is 7. Akane Yamaguchi has been in 10
Wow.
750 finals. That's lovely. But Wang Zhi Yi, this is her first 750 final. And the fun fact is, if she's to go on and win this final against An Se-young, she will become the 7th different women's singles player to win titles at all 4 levels of World Tour.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
Much more than I thought.
yeah. Already, of course, An Se-young, Tai Tzu-ying, Chen Yufei, Yamaguchi and Okuhara, which in fact makes it, she would become the 6th player. Not the 7th
What about Marie?
Oh,
I don't know if she's won the Super 750. Good shot. Good play from Wang Zhi Yi, who is keeping the pressure, patient pressure on An Se-young. He's satisfied.
she hasn't won a
Yukon.
500.
She hasn't won a 500.
It's a 500 she hasn't won. She's been in 4 finals but never won one.
Got injured in Indonesia when she was in
That's right, against Saina Nehwal.
winning position.
She just doesn't look with it today, does she? Wang Se-young.
Good shot. Oi.
Service over. 1-4.
Perhaps a little bit too far behind that shot, Wang Zhi Yi. Good shot, good shot.
Service over. 5-1.
It's difficult for An Se-young if she cannot play at a little bit higher pace than what she's doing at the moment. Then I think Wang Zhi Yi is quite comfortable and has got the technical skills to cope with what's being thrown at her. Beautiful shot. Lovely backhand return on the low serve.
Oh, that's just unbelievable. Missed it. I don't believe it. All the hard shots she defended quite brilliantly. And then when she had an opportunity to attack, she made the error. Look at that. Crouch defense. Backing off in courts to give herself more time. And that's a big miss.
She's trying, Wang Zhi Yi. It's interesting, her service is relatively fast-paced for a low serve. But it seems like that net forehand corner, it's really difficult for her to maintain the pressure. So it's a little bit of a free play for Wang Zhi Yi to get back into the rallies.
Incredible defense again from Wang.
That one.
The pace has definitely gone up still.
Yeah.
Wang Zhi Yi moving better now.
She's getting a lot back.
Amazing rally. I wouldn't be surprised if that's nearing the longest rally of the match so far. Look at the effort from Wang Zhi Yi to scramble the shuttle back. Yeah, it was the longest rally.
Look at the service now. Goes almost into the body of Wang Zhi Yi. It's more difficult to play disguise on it.
Not only more difficult to play disguise, I think more difficult to play accurately back to the net.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, I suspect Wang Zhi Yi changed her mind there.
It became way too soft.
Yeah, this one. What was she trying to do there? That wasn't a drop shot and it wasn't a clear.
It's a mistake again. And she hasn't really played that forehand corner a lot, Wang Zhi Yi, here in the second game. One of the reasons could be that we saw yesterday that there was a little bit of sideways drift, right to left. So that would be the fastest corner on Wang Zhi Yi's court half.
And also, we don't know how much Wang Zhi Yi has been able to practice and train at home since the Olympic Games.
No.
We know this is her first tournament back. But obviously the injury is not completely healed.
And she's not in the kind of shape we saw her in a year ago before the injury. It's not healed, and there's much more errors than we normally see from Wang Zhi Yi's racket. That's a good play. Good shot.
Yeah.
It's about, for Wang Zhi Yi, it's super important to keep variation on those shots. She's played the cross soft drop shot. And I think Wang Zhi Yi, being the clever tactician that she is, she's anticipated that shot. So it's important to variate it to keep that corner open. but it's basically being played on Wang Zhi Yi's terms so far.
And that's why she has the advantage. A game and 11-6 up.
哎，那我有机会，我果断打后场起来，所以第二局的这个杀球非常好啊。然后第二，你看多困难的球我都捞过去了，给他的压力大，知道吗？持续给他压力，我就不行，我就进去，我就靠脚跑，懂吗？啊，坚定自己的信念啊。 还是往前戳得好，后场杀得好啊！继续，其他的把它正常打进去熬住啊！加油！
20 seconds. 20 seconds. Wang Zhi.
So a game and 11-6 up. Wang Zhi Yi, the Asian champion.
Oi. Directly into the racket.
Wow. You know, as that rally was in progress, Steen, I just sensed how important that was from An Se-young's point of view.
But that's what I meant just before the interval, that it's been played on Wang Zhi Yi's conditions, so to speak. An Se-young is not attempting to actively score points herself early in the rally at all. She's playing it much more patiently, hoping for Wang Zhi Yi to make errors or bad decisions.
Well, too late in asking to challenge. Umpire wants to have a word.
If you want to challenge, you need to challenge immediately before you look to your coach.
Yep, well umpired, well said. That is the rules of the sport. Challenge must be immediate. I think there has to be a little bit of latitude in doubles so that you can quickly make eye contact with your partner, as if to say, yeah, we're going to challenge, or no, don't. That's a careless error. Well, that's an error that perhaps is born out of a lack of practice.
Yes, I think so.
Nice.
Super shot.
That's absolutely brilliant.
And this is going to take a breakdown from Wang Zhi Yi if An Se-young is going to come back here, I suspect. efficient, that shot. Especially in women's singles, but also in the other disciplines. And it takes no energy at all. It's my favorite shot.
And it's the same tactic again, Steen.
Yeah.
That's gone wide. Yeah. You need to be practicing each and every day for those touch shots to become automatic. And if you haven't been able to practice or train, they become loose. And this, quite frankly, is all one-way traffic and all in favour of the Asian champion, Wang Zhi Yi. 2 points away from the title.
Yeah, she hasn't been able to challenge An Se-young at all.
And what would be a third different Chinese player winning the Denmark Open title in 3 years. After Hebing Zhao 2 years ago and Chen Yufei last year. But it's really An Se-young is a shadow of her Olympic form. And that's a real shame, for whatever the reason. Still, obviously, far from physically fit with the knee injury.
Brilliant play. Trying to take more initiative here, but most likely too late.
11-19.
Yeah, but surely it is too little, too late. The backhand into the net. And it is 8 match point opportunities for Wang Zhi Yi from China. On her first opportunity. 21-10, 21-12, the victory to the Asian champion, Wang Zhi Yi, in a match lasting 38 minutes. And in winning this Super 750 title in her first Super 750 final, she does indeed become the 6th different player in the women's singles discipline to win World Tour titles at all 4 levels, 300, 500, 750 and 1000. Her last 2 titles, the China Open 1000 and now a 750 here in Odense at the Denmark Open. Off the pace, An Se-young. Lack of training and injury problems still obvious. Confirmation of the score once again. 21:10, 21:12 in 39 minutes. Disappointing in a way, Steen, to see Wang Zhi Yi so far off her Olympic form.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's also a little bit expected in her first tournament back. She was struggling in the second round and the quarterfinal, and Wang Zhi Yi showed she was the best.
Yeah, I'll say. Wang Zhi Yi, who will return to world #1 in 2 days' time. The reigning world and Olympic champion for a second time, 3 years after being beaten in the final here as to second best. But what an incredible few weeks Wang Zhi Yi has had, winning the China Super 1000 and now here in Denmark winning her first Super 750 event.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medalists of the women's singles category. And now to the winner interview.
So, a pretty one-sided final. You played really good. What did you think made the difference today?
今天几乎是一面倒的局面，那你今天是在怎么样的状态让你表现得这么好？
我觉得自己对今天这场比赛做好了很充分的准备，而且今天自己打得非常的坚定。
She made a very good or well preparation in advance, so she feels she's at the right good status for this match again.
This is your 4th title this year. You also won a Super 1000 in China, now a Super 750 win here in Denmark. Why are you peaking like this year and at this moment?
因为今年这个金牌，这个冠军是你今年的第4座金牌。想知道说你今年真的表现得非常好，是什么让你维持在这么巅峰的状态？
我觉得自己需要一直保持一如既往的专注和自律，然后也希望自己能够在比赛当中有所突破。
She's trying to keep very self-disciplined and keep focus on the game and prepare again, so this keeps her so well status and performance.
Are you going to celebrate this win?
今天晚上有要去庆祝吗？
可能会跟队友一起吃点好吃的吧。
She will treat herself with her teammates together to some good food in Denmark.
Good luck and congratulations.
So coming up next, after the conclusion of the women's singles, we now turn our attention to women's doubles. And Lu Shengshu and Tang Ning up against Rin Iwanaga and Kia Nakanishi of Japan. Welcome back to Odense Finals Day here at the Denmark Open. And next up, women's doubles, and the pair that won last week at the Arctic Open, Lu Shengshu and Tang Ning, up against the Japanese number 6 seeds Rin Iwanaga and Kia Nakanishi. The Japanese pair, a left and right-handed combination. Well, when we look at the quarter-final stage onwards, you can see 3 pairs from China, all in the top half of the draw.